Welcome back, loyal fans. Um, it's been about a week since the Tomb Kings were finished. I've had a few chances to airbrush, so I've got a little bit more progress, and of course I bought more models. Um, it was a few weeks ago that I bought a big amount of Chaos Dwarves because Chaos Dwarves were one of the two armies I didn't have, and now I've got a bunch, but none of them are Games Workshop. They're all Mantic, Kings of War, and some Russian alternative ones, which are really nice models. Yeah, I'm very happy with them. They look more like the 5th edition Chaos Dwarves, which is fine by me. Big hats. Some of them are just dwarf model, like Mantic dwarf models with upgrades, like metal hat upgrades, basically, that you put on the helmet that the dwarf already has. It's kind of weird, but it works, kind of, I think. We'll see. Some of the models aren't as good as I thought, but that's Mantic, basically. Sometimes it's really nice models, and other times you gotta deal with them. I also spent way too much on extra paints. Something like an extra $100 just on, some different paints. And a bunch of, liquids and stuff for the airbrush, which is gonna be helpful, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll get it done. I'm still missing a couple of things. I had trouble a few days ago trying to get gray, this gray color that I had. Yeah, it was one of these MSP. Not this one. This one actually does pretty well. It's a gray version, and it, for whatever reason, I just bought it for a discount. I guess it's really old, and the particles inside are way too big to airbrush. It doesn't look like a good paint to paint on with a brush, anyways. But so that basically wasted half of a day, cleaning the airbrush trying multiple times to get it to work. Well, maybe if I had a bit more thinner, no. It was basically just a waste of time, completely. But at least I've got some progress with the orcs and goblins. Got some things to show. I don't know if the camera will focus, but this is probably the best example of the green, which took a while. This is 2 coats. And it's kind of good enough. I can kind of deal with that green color. There aren't many definitions on the skin, though, so I'm pretty sure I want to add a wash to that, but I'm not sure how much of what. Maybe just a light wash and all around, and then try to get the recesses. Again, I want to do this as quickly as possible because there's 400 models of them. The red I just did on this guy, on the spiders. I didn't do such a good job all the time. Some of the red has gotten onto the orc, or the goblin himself. Mangler squig. One's red and the other might be yellow or blue, something like that. I'm not really sure yet. And then the other 2 colors, brown and gray. The gray for certain bits, like the Savage Orc axes and stuff. But it was mostly some of the boars, and then a bunch of brown for most of the leather on the orc boys, and yeah, 60-70% of the boars. So, at least they kind of look like they're on their way. Black orcs are still... I'm gonna have to hand paint the armor. I think that's the only way to do it, especially when I have 10 already painted. So I'm just going to follow that paint job there. The basing might be a different issue. Some of the models that I have already painted by other people, it's kind of between 2 painters, and one of them is a snow color and the other is a kind of normal. Basically, one is a snow color like that, so brown with snow on top, which isn't that bad, and then the other is Savage Orc with, lighter brown with grass. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I mean, I don't specifically need a diorama that has half grass and half snow just to justify it, but we'll see. I mean, at the same time, if I have a unit of 40 of these guys, I can just put these guys with grass in the back of the unit or the middle of the unit. No one's going to notice. we'll see. I kind of want them on snow bases. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, so I also got a bunch of Chaos Dwarves. I also bought a bunch of elves, like all 3 elves, because it was just such a good deal. And I got a bunch of things that I hadn't had before, including some of the Sisters of the Thorn. Some of these models are really dusty and stuff, not the best, but all the same, it's good. Some of the new Dragon Princes, an open box of Sisters of the Thorn, which I can use as Wild Riders. Just things to fill in the army. Or Flamespar Phoenix, which, because I had 2 Frost Darts, and now I have a Flamespar. Of course I need to paint that, and I've been waiting to paint those Phoenixes with the Airbrush, so I got 3. That's fine, but the best purchase was probably the old rule book. This thing, it's massive. And I've just started looking through it. It's a lot better than I expected. Like, some of it is what I thought, like this is the picture of your army, your future dream army. You know, all the things you can see online, or that you've already seen that they've cut and pasted off of other things, but they also have extra scenarios. They even have a battle report, a general battle report. It's in the space of like 3 pages, so it's not as long as, White Dwarf, but it's good, Some of it's really interesting, and it's only after the game ends that I start buying things from other people who are giving it all up. Do I find this? Like, I probably should have bought that book. But then again, when the game was still going on, I didn't really have the time. So, we'll see. Maybe the extra scenarios aren't as fair for one side as the other. I'll have to figure that out later. I may run through a few battles, we'll see. But anyways, there's at least some progress being done. I'm almost at the stage where I need to paint by brush the orcs, and I don't know how long that'll take. It's a ton of models. Tomb Kings took a long while, but hopefully the orcs are simpler and easier. We'll see. All depends. Anyways, I may get to a battle, I may not. We'll see. I guess last thing. Here's some of the orcs and their state. Oh, I also did some of the Bloodletter models from the Chaos Demons that I didn't do, but so, it looks like a box of color now instead of what it was before. And then the goblins are still just green. Most of them anyways. Alright, thanks. Here.